For an act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriations Act in order to extend the implementation year from 31st March 2024 to 30th June 2024 and for related matters 2024 second reading taken. Now, the leader. I think because of the urgency attached to the bill, do we now set aside our rules so that we can move to pass it, to move on? We are supposed to have referred to committee of. Okay, now, okay, the leader.
Thank you, Mr. President, and very distinguished colleagues. I rise to move that we resolve to a committee of the whole to consider this bill. I so move, Mr. President.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to second the motion that we revert to committee of the whole to consider the bill. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion moved by the Senate leader and seconded by the leader, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clause 1 should be passed, please say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 2 and 3, those in favor say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The Senate leader. Okay, I've said it now. The long title and the explanatory memorandum, those in favor say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I stand to move that we revert to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so move.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion that we revert back to plenary to report progress. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The Senate, in the Committee of Supply, considered a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 31st March 2024 to 30th June 2024 and for other related matters 2024. Amendment of the 2023 Supplementary Appropriations Act as recommended. Short title as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Long title as recommended. It is a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of Supply. The leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, yes, thank you. Mr. President, distinguished senators, I stand to move that the bill be now read the third time. I so move, Mr. President.
The clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Act in order to extend the implementation year from 31st March 2024 to 30th June 2024, and for related matters 2024. Third reading.
A bill for an act to amend 2023 Supplementary Appropriations Act in order to extend the implementation year from 31st March 2024 to 30th June 2024, and for related matters 2024. Third reading taken and passed. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the second order of the day is the second reading of a bill standing in my name on the Extradition Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 377. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Tuesday, 5th March 2024. Mr. President, with your permission, I move that I be allowed to lead the debate.
You may proceed, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I thank you for the honor and privilege of leading the debate on a bill for the amendment of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2023. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I thank you for the honor and privilege of leading the debate on a bill for the amendment of the Extradition Act, Cap E25, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters. The Extradition Act is the legislation that governs the process by which Nigeria can request and obtain the surrender of a person from another jurisdiction who is accused or convicted of a criminal offense outside the requesting jurisdiction's territory. The Act is today set for amendment in order to ensure compliance with Nigeria's obligation to the international bodies in the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing, and also to ensure the delisting of Nigeria by the ICRG from the gray list through compliance. The amendment bill has been read on the floor of both houses, being the Senate as well as the House of Representatives, respectively. Section 2, subsection 1 of the Act is amended to allow Nigeria to accede to extradition requests from countries with which Nigeria has signed an extradition treaty, as opposed to only Commonwealth countries, as is the case today. The present position of the Act applies only to countries within the Commonwealth and any other country with whom Nigeria establishes an extradition treaty or arrangement. Section 7, subsection 4 of the Act is amended to properly set out the procedure for issuance of warrant of arrest for effective execution of extradition requests. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I crave your indulgence for this bill to be read a second time. I so move.
Any contribution? No contribution is straightforward. Now, let me now put the question. Those in favor that the bill be now read its second time, please say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Extradition Act, Cap E25, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to expand the scope of application and for related matters 2024. Second reading.
A bill for an act to amend the Extradition Act, Cap E25, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to expand the scope of application and for related matters 2024. Second reading taken. The bill is referred to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, and to report back within 4 weeks. The Leader of the Senate. The Leader. It's about lawmaking. It's about Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is the second reading of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Udende on the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Act Amendment Bill 2024. The distinguished senator will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Tuesday, 5th March 2024. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Emmanuel Udende Menga to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Senator Udende, you may move your motion.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. My dear colleagues, I thank you for the privilege and honor of leading this debate on a bill for amendment of Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Act 2018. The first reading was done on the 5th day of March 2024. The Act is set for amendment in order to bring it to conformity and ensure Nigeria's compliance with current FTF, Financial Action Task Force, recommendation on the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing. It is also been amended to enable Nigeria exit the gray list through ICRG mechanism. The amendment B has been read on the floor of the Senate. Section 3 of the Act is amended to allow mutual legal assistance if the underlying offense is criminalized by both Nigeria and requesting state, regardless of whether Nigeria and the requesting state place the offense within the same category of offense or dominate the offense by the same terminology, provided the conduct underlying the offense is criminalized by both Nigeria and the requesting state. Section 17 is amended to include a new subsection 5 to define without delay within the context of section 17(5). For the purpose of this section, without delay means a period not more than 60 days. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I hereby urge you all to give this bill expeditious passage to enable Nigeria exit the gray listing through ICRG mechanism. Thank you, Mr. President.
No contribution? Okay. Those in favor that the bill be now read second time, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Act 2018 and for related matters 2024. Second reading.
A bill for an act to amend the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Act 2018 and for related matters 2024. Second reading taken. The bill is referred to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters and to report back within 4 weeks. The Leader of Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions on the confirmation of the nomination of the following persons as listed on the order paper for appointment as Managing Director and Executive Directors of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Distinguished senators will recall that the request was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 27 February 2024 and Thursday, 14 February 2024. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Mukayo Adetokunbo Abiru, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, the Baba Adini, and the Chairman, Southern Central Forum. You may wish to move your motion.
Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, my name is Mukahil Adetokunbo Abiru. I represent Lagos East, and I rise to present the report on the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions on the screening of 4 nominees of Mr. President for confirmation of appointment as Managing Director and Executive Directors of the Asset Corporation of Nigeria. With your permission, I would like to present a report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Senator Jim Kuta, you may wish to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleague, I rise to second the motion heavily moved by the Chairman, Banking and Other Financial Institutions. Thank you, Mr. President.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may lay your motion, your report. You can read it.
Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, I rise to now formally present the report of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions on the screening exercise for the 4 nominees of Mr. President for the confirmation of appointment as Managing Director and Executive Directors of Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. On page 2, the introduction, the Senate at its meeting on Tuesday, 27th February 2024 and Thursday, 14th March 2024, considered the requests of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces for the confirmation of appointments of 4 nominations for appointment as Managing Director and Executive Directors of Asset Management Company, AMCON, and the list of the nominees are on page 2 as specified. Mr. Benga Alade, Mr. Aminu Ismail, Mr. Adeshola Lamidi, Mr. Loki Adagbe, and Dr. Aminu Mukhtar. On pages 3 to 7, you have this summarized CVs of all the nominees. And on page 8, I would like to make some clarification. Note 5.0, withdrawal of the nomination of Aminu Ismail as Executive Director in Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, and replacement by Dr. Aminu Mukhtar Dan Amu. The Senate may wish to be informed that the nomination of Mr. Aminu Ismail, who is one of the nominees of the position of Executive Director and currently serving as an Executive Director of AMCON, had been screened twice by this Malu chamber. And so, therefore, he is currently running his term, and trying to screen him for the third time will be at variance with the Constitution. And to the extent that the nomination has been withdrawn and replaced, there was no need to screen Mr. Aminu Ismail. Now, on page 8 to 9, we have the findings. At the end of the screening exercise of the nominees, the committee's findings were as follows: that the appointments of the nominees are in accordance with the provisions of Section 10, 1B, C, and 2 of the AMCON Act 2010, that the recommendation of the nominees are in tandem with the provisions of Section 10, subsection 2 of the Act, which provides that a person shall not be appointed as a member of the board unless such a person possesses 10 years cognate financial experience at senior management level. 3, that the nominees' performance during the screening exercise is indicative of their qualifications, suitability for their appointment as the managing director and executive directors. Point 4, that the nominees possess the expertise, knowledge, and professional experience to be appointed as managing director and executive directors, and that the committee also did not receive any petition against any of the nominees. And lastly, note 6, that the nominees have been cleared by the Nigerian Police Force, the DSS, and they possess their code of conduct. Recommendations. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions, after robust engagements with the nominees and being satisfied with their experiences, performances, and academic qualifications, recommend that the Senate do confirm the nomination of the underlisted as managing director, executive directors of the Asset Management Corporation. 1, Mr. Benga Alade as managing director. 2, Adeshola Lamidi as executive director. 3, Loki Adagbe as executive director. And 4, Dr. Aminu Mukhtar Dan Amu as executive director. However, in our view of the fact that the nomination of Mr. Aminu Ismail for appointment as executive director was withdrawn and replaced with Dr. Aminu Mukhtar Dan Amu, the committee cannot recommend Mr. Aminu for appointment as executive director. Conclusion: the committee wishes to sincerely express its appreciation to the Senate for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. I so move, Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues.
The leader, I think you should move for a motion so that we can move to committee will hold to consider the report.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I stand to move that the Senate resolves into a committee of the whole to enable us to consider this report. I so move, Mr.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I second the motion that the Senate resolve to committee of the whole to consider the report. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. In absence of any comment, we move to the approval. Is there any comment? No. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Gbenga Alade for appointment as Managing Director for the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Adeshola Lamidi for appointment as Executive Director for the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Loki Abagi for appointment as Executive Director for the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Aminu Mukhtar Dangamu for appointment as Executive Director for the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate Leader.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so move.
Sitting as chair, I rise to second the motion that Senate revert back to plenary to report progress. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion moved by the leader and seconded by the mandatory leader, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished senators, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions on the screen of Mr. President's nominees for appointment as Managing Director and Executive Directors of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, and approved the nominations of 1. Gbenga Alade, Managing Director; Adeshola Lamidi, Executive Director; Loki Adage, Executive Director; Dr. Aminu Mukhtar Dangamu, Executive Director. Managing Director and Executive Director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Confirmation. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Gbenga Alade for appointment as Managing Director for the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of...
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. I am Ibrahim Mohammed Bomay, representing Yobe South. I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the harmonized report of the Senate and House of Representatives on FCT and Area Council on the FCT 2024 Statutory Appropriation Bill. I so move.
Senator Mpigi, Chairman, Senate Committee on Works, may wish to second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate. Mpigi Baranada, I represent the people of Rivers Southeast Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I stand here to second the motion that the harmonized report of the Senate and House of Committee on Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and FCTA Area Councils on the 2024 FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill be so adopted. Mr. President, I so second.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed. Senator Boma, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, I am Ibrahim Mohammed Bomai, representing Yobe South. I wish to present the harmonized report of the Senate and House of Representatives committees on FCT on the 2024 FCT statutory appropriation bill. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you will recall that in line with the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, the 2024 FCT statutory appropriation bill was read the first time on Thursday, 14th March 2024. The Senate concluded debate on the second reading on the same date, that is 14th March 2024, and the bill was referred to the Committee of FCT and FCT Area Council for further legislative action and also to report back in the next legislative date. In accordance with Section 62, Section 80, 88, and 89, and Section 299 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, the Senate and the House committees on FCT met with the Honorable Minister of FCT and officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration and deliberated on the subject matter and agreed on the modalities to handle the exercise. Observation. The Federal Capital Territory Administration proposed the sum of 1,147,780,610,283 naira only for the year 2024 fiscal year. There was an increase of...
You may wish to summarize, just summarize so that, since every senator has the report, so just summarize.
Oh, I have to repeat it. In view of the aforementioned, the committee have recommended the sum of 1,282,270,610,283 as the budget for the year 2024. From the projected revenue stated above, 140,915,3,856 is for personnel cost, while the sum of 373,027,373 naira 668 is for overhead. The balance of 768,328,232,759 is for capital projects for the year 2024. On the fourth paragraph, we have the structure of expenditure for the statutory appropriation bill. The personnel costs constitute only 10.9% of the total budget, while the overhead constitute 29.10. The total recurrent constitute about 40%, while the capital constitute 60%. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, in considering this budget, time is of essence to the committee. That is, the Senate House committees have worked harmoniously to present the version of the report for the consideration of both chambers. On behalf of the committee, I hereby present the recommendation for the consideration and passage of the 2024 FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill into law. Thank you very much.
Thank you for treating the bill with dispatch. You've done very well. We commended the minister, when the bill was brought, ab initio, because this is the first time in recent years that FCT appropriation bill was brought around the first stanza of the year. What we used to experience was a trend that which was associated with bringing budget close to the end, FCT budget close to the end of the year. And I think you've done very well by also acting very fast to deal with the bill. That said, the leader, I think we should move to the Committee of Supply to continue the processing of the bill. No contribution, right? Okay, Ms. Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate resolves into a committee of supply to enable us to consider this report. I so move, Mr.
The Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to second the motion that the Senate resolve to Committee of the Supply to continue the process. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion moved by leader and seconded by Vice Leader, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that Part A, which is a total of 573 billion 942 million 377,524 naira stand part of the schedule, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that Part B, which stand to the tune of 768 billion 328 million 232,759 naira stand as Part B of the schedule, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the grand total of Part A and B, which is the recurrent and capital, which stand as 1,282 billion 270 million 610,000 naira only stand as the total for Part A and Part B should form part of the schedule to this bill. Please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that Schedule 1 should stand part of this bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those that in favor that Schedule 2 should stand part of this bill, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Schedule 3. Those in favor that Clause 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 stand as stand as part of this bill, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the loan title should stand part of this bill, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Leader of the Senate. Also,
Mr. President, still sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chairman report progress. I so move.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I rise to second the motion that Senate revert back to plenary to continue the process. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate, in the Committee of Supply, considered the report of the Committee on Federal Capital Territory FCT on the Federal Capital Territory FCT Appropriation Bill 2024 and approved as follows. Schedule Part A, recurrent expenditure, total personnel and overhead costs as recommended. Schedule Part B, capital expenditure as recommended. Clause 1 to 6 as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Short title, Clause 7 as recommended. Long title as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of Supply? The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I stand to move that the bill be now read the third time. I so move.
The Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I rise to second that the bill be now read the third time. Thank you.
The Clerk of the Senate. Oh, those in favor of the motion moved by the Leader and seconded by the Minority Leader, please say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration's Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account, the total sum of 1,282,270,610,283 naira only, of which the sum of 140,915,003,856 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 377,373,668 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 768,328,232,759 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja for the financial year commencing from 1st January and ending on 31st December 2024. Third reading.
A bill to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account, the total sum of 1,282,270,610,283 naira only, of which the sum of 140,915,003,856 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 373,373,666 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 758,328,232,759 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for the financial year commencing from 1st January and ending on 31st December 2024, third reading taken and passed. Again, let me commend the Minister for bringing the appropriation bill for this year as early as the month of March, which is quite unlike what used to happen before, when it was brought in November. Sometime in December, we've seen a change, and it shows the seriousness which the minister attaches to his job as the Minister of FCT. We commend him for this, for moving in tandem with the zeal of the administration of Mr. President, our distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that have resolved that the budget cycle of January to December should be maintained. So the minister has done very well by going in consonance with this resolve of Mr. President. I also commend the chairman of the committee, Senator Bomai, for acting with dispatch to get the process of dealing with the bill, which made him to present a report within the shortest period of time. I commend you and your members of the committee that should continue on this trajectory, and of course your caucus, So more grace to your elbows, so that you continue to do more for the service of our country, and changing the fortune of FCT Abuja to be one of the best cities, capital cities in the world. Thank you very much. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the sixth order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Finance on the 2024 budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Mohammed Sani Musa to move the motion for the Senate to receive and consider the report of the committee. I so moved.
Senator Sani Musa, Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance, CON, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, my name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District. I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Finance on the budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Services. I so moved.
Senator Tony Way may wish to second the motion.
My dear President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Dr. Tony Way from Anambra North. I second the motion, ably moved by my dear able chairman. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion moved by Senator Sani Musa, Chairman, Senate Committee on Finance, and second by Senator Tony Way, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Musa, you may proceed. You go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Report of the Senate Committee on Finance on the 2024 budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Services. Federal Inland Revenue Services is funded by 4% cost of non-oil tax collection, which is appropriated by the National Assembly as stipulated in Section 15, subsection A of 15A of the Federal Inland Revenue Services Act 2007. A total of 446.34 billion is proposed for the 4% cost of collection for the service for the year 2023. budget defense for the year 2024 was held on the 19th February 2024, and we reviewed the 2023 budget performances, which is all in the report. We have the highlights of the proposed budget of the 2024. The service proposes to collect the following tax revenue target as derived from the federal government medium-term fiscal framework, MTEF. From the revenue on oil, we are looking at a projected cost of approved budget of 4.18 trillion in 2023, and in 2024 we are proposing 9.96 trillion as the estimated budget, an increase of about 138%. For the non-oil, in 2023 it was 6.98 trillion, and for 2024 it is estimated to be 9.45 trillion, an increase of about 35%. Our total collection for 2023 was 11.16 trillion, and estimated in 2024 will be about 19.41 trillion, an increase of about 74%. Cost of collection remains at 4%. Revenue due to federal inland revenue in respect of imports, VAT has a net of 2% payable to Nigerian Customs Services, VAT plus receivables, which is about 320.9 billion in 2023, and in 2024 we are looking at 446.34 billion. That is about 39% increase. And the expenditure, the personnel cost, has also increased by 35% to about 177.4 billion naira. The overhead cost also increased from 121 billion to 156 billion for 2024. The capital cost for 2023 was 68.07 billion, and in 2024 will be 112.45 billion, an increase of about 65%. The total will come to about 446.34 billion as against the 320 in 2023, thereby an increase of about 39%. Real GDP growth rate is projected at 3.2 for the period. Consumption expenditure for VAT is assumed to average about 456.1 trillion for 2024 after adjusting for exemptions, zero-rated items, and companies whose threshold falls below 25 million turnover. Gross operating surplus of firms for which CIT forecast was derived is assumed to average 15.4 trillion in 2024 after adjusting for firms in informal sector, enterprises, etc. Electronic money transfer levy is projected based on the estimated volume of chargeable online transfer transactions of 3.9 billion in 2024. The strategies that are adopted, you can see it on page 7. We are going to use the Finance Act to leverage on relevant provisions contained in the Finance Act of 2019, 2020, and 2021 to expand the tax net and optimize collection. They are going to use technology to leverage. They will leverage on technology, and then appointments of more VAT collection agents, VAT automation, data mining portal, and the committee observed that in the 2024 projected cost of collection of 446.34 is 39% higher than the 2023 approved budgeted cost of collection, which stood at 320. I go to the recommendations now. The committee recommends that a total expenditure of 446 billion 122 million 696,992 naira, which consists of personnel costs of about 177 billion, overhead costs of about 156 billion, capital cost of about 112 billion, totaling about 446 billion. With this, we believe that FIRS will be able to perform their functions accordingly, and this one there. We believe that FIRS will be able to perform their functions as we leave the cost of collection to remain at 4%. And this is due to the fact that they need more money, and they need this money in order to generate more money for the country. With this, we want to thank, on behalf of the committee, the Senate President and distinguished Senate for giving us this opportunity to discharge our responsibilities. Thank you. I so submit.
Clerk. Is there any comment before we go into recommendations, please? Distinguished Senator Toriwe.
Yes, sir. No comment, sir.
So, yeah, support. Distinguished Senator Abiru.
Thank you, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues. On my part as well, I think I'm a member of the committee, and we all went through this together. So I support wholeheartedly as presented. Thank you, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues. Thank you.
Leader of the Senate, let us let us look at the clerk. Let's look at the recommendations. Distinguished colleagues, the recommendations after exhaustive debate by Chief Tony Way and Abdiru and others, the committee recommends that a total expenditure of 446 billion 122 million 696,992 naira, which consists of 177.4 billion for personnel costs. Overhead costs will be 156 billion. Capital outlay will be 112 billion, bringing the total to 446.3, be approved for finance for federal inland revenue for the year 2024. Those in support of this recommendation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So let me thank the chairman of the Committee on Finance, distinguished Senator Sani Musa, MSM, and all the members of the committee, including Banking and Finance, and every committee member that contributed to this report that has just been approved by the Senate. I'm praying that God will give the Federal Inland Revenue Service the enablement to carry out the works they are proposed to do to improve the revenue of the Federation and enable the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a corrective regime, to achieve a lot for the benefit of all Nigerians. Congratulations for a wonderful job done. Then I can also use this opportunity to correct what is trending on the social media. We agreed here that we should await the outcome of the investigation by the joint teams of the military, particularly the defense headquarters, on the killing of the soldiers in Okwama. And I said that that at the end of the investigation, that they may even be mercenaries, there may be people that were sponsored who may not even be from Niger Delta, and they could also be from Niger Delta, but whoever they are, the act is not only barbaric, it is horrific and a crime against humanity, and all those involved must be brought to book. But somebody went to tweet, I don't know from where, that Senate President says that the killers of the soldiers are not from Nigeria. I just want you to see, after they will say we should not regulate social media. Am I right? They say we should not regulate social media. So when you bring that kind of falsehood and that's the one that will trend. Akpabio says, Akpabio reviews killers of 16 soldiers, says they are not from Nigeria. So anybody who sees it would say that this is what was discussed. We are calling for investigation to unravel the culprits so that they will be brought to book. And I said that it is not in the character of our people to go killing and cutting off the heads of men and women in uniform. I'm a Niger Deltan. I know this is totally uncommon. This is not something anybody will think of. This is barbaric, this is brutal. This is the kind of thing that you hear with organized terrorist groups. Some people must be declared as terrorists. And I said I refuse to even allow us to condone any civilian that could have suffered from collateral damage, because I say investigation is still going on. So we condole only with the members of the family. We condole the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, and the personnel of the armed forces over this tragedy. And we say we will not condole any person involved in collateral damage or the community yet until the investigation is completed. But they didn't write that one. Instead, what they went to write is that Akpabio says killers of Nigeria, 16 soldiers are not Nigerians. So, sometimes people love breaking news, but breaking news should not break the society. I'm not angry. Every time I hear Akpabio. So I'm not angry. You can sell your medium if that pleases you, but stop sending fake news around. Stop sending fake news around. I'm stop trying to tarnish anybody's image. This is a very serious issue, and this Senate takes it seriously. That was why we refused to mention anything about condolence to the communities yet. And we said the one we know are these 16 armed personnel who have been killed in a very brutal and horrific manner. And so we even recommended that we should find a way to compensate the families. We condole with Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief, over this tragedy and all that. But somebody went to tweet immediately that the Senate President says that killers are not Nigerians when investigation is ongoing. So if that goes out and they sell that to Australia, United Kingdom, everything, was that what was discussed in the Senate? I just want to caution the press, please, as you people are watching us, know what you send out. Because if it were your father or your brother that was killed, you will not send out mischief. You will be shedding tears. Our heart bleeds over what has happened. I don't like what I just saw. I would have stepped out here now and I saw it there. The killers of 16 soldiers are not Nigerian. Senate President reviews. That means Senate President knows the killers, even when the investigation is not completed. No, don't laugh. It's what you people are doing. One of you there must have done it. May God forgive you in Jesus' name. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, except otherwise guided by Mr. President from the chair, I would like to move that we step down other items on the order paper and that they be repeated as our priority on the next legislative day. I so move, Mr. President. Okay, Mr. President, I thank you. What I actually said, except otherwise guided, and now I'm well guided. We'll take one more item on the order paper, and dear colleagues, it's a short one, and that is the 7th order of the day, which is the consideration of a report on the National Youth Service Corps Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2023, SB 260. Mr. President, with your permission, I wish to move a motion for the Senate to resolve into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report. I so move, Mr. President.
The Minority Leader. Minority Leader. A motion has been moved for you to second.
Thank you, Mr. President. I hereby arise to second the motion as moved by the Leader of the Senate. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we do consider the next item, which is the motion on the bill 7th of the day. Those in support that we resolve in the committee of the whole to undertake this venture, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So we resolve in the committee of the whole. Distinguished colleagues, report on the bill for an act to establish National Youth Service Corps Trust Fund to provide a sustainable source of funds for the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC skill acquisition, training and empowerment of Corps members, training and retraining of the personnel of the NYSC development of camps and NYSC formations and facilities, and for related matters therewith, enacted by the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as follows. Part 1 of the bill, the objectives and the scope, return. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 2. Trust fund established under section this act shall cover all Corps members, personnel of the NYSC, orientation camps, formations, facilities, and the overall improvement and efficiency in the discharge of their duties. This is already provided in the Principal Act. The scope, Part 2. The scope, Part 1, 2, return. Parts 1, 2, 1 and 2, return. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Part 2, 3, 1, 2, A and B, 4, 5, and 6. Those in support of returning the parts 3 to 6 as contained herein, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Composition of the Board of the Trust Fund, contained in Part 7, because appointment of tenure 8, resignation 9, cessation of holding office 10. Those in support of 7, 8, 9, 10 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Removal from office, responsibility of boards, etc. 11, 12, 13, 14. Those in support of 11, 12, 13, up to 14 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Those in support of the listed section say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 20 up to 25 retain as in the Principal Act. Those in support of 20 to 25 as retained say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Then 26. Those in support of retention of the citation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Explanatory memorandum. So we've taken interpretation clauses 25 on page 9. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Then a short title as contained in page 26, clause 26, page 10. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Explanatory memorandum as contained in page 10. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sitting as chair, I rise to second the motion that the Senate revert back to plenary to report progress.
The motion has been moved and seconded that this Senate do revert to plenary to report progress. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to plenary to report progress. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate, in the Committee of the Whole, consider the National Youth Service Corps Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2024. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses 1 to 24 as recommended. Interpretation clause 25 as recommended. Short title clause 26 as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is it a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Yes. Clerk of the Senate. Leader of the Senate, please, you have moved that the bill be now read for the third time.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the bill be now read the third time. I so move.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion that the bill can be read the third time. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this bill be now read for the third time. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the National Youth Service Corps Trust Fund, NYSC TF, for the purpose of providing a sustainable source of funds for the National Youth Service Corps, skill acquisition, training and empowerment of corps members, training and retraining of the personnel of the National Youth Service Corps, development of camps and NYSC formations and facilities therein, and for related matters 2024. Third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the National Youth Service Corps Trust Fund, NYSCTF, for the purpose of providing a sustainable source of funds for the National Youth Service Corps, skill acquisition, training and empowerment of corps members, training and retraining of the personnel of the National Youth Corps Service Corps, development of camps and NYSC formations and facilities therein, and for related matters 2024. This bill is now read a third time and passed. Leader of the Senate. I should commend distinguished Senator Adara Modu for bringing this bill, and the contents are very exciting. I believe that this trust fund will definitely, when implemented, if implemented, it will help a lot in the development of NYSC camps, training and retraining of corps members. Will even provide for after service jobs, and will lead to improvement in facilities across the entire nation. It will also make it a contributory venture between the federal government and the states in the development of core centers, so that it's not going to be just the responsibility of one arm of government. It will also improve the skills of our youths and will give them better facilities, and particularly at a time like this, we also provide security for the camps and better living conditions for them. So I commend you for bringing this, and I thank the entire Senate for a job well done, and for all those who have contributed, and pray that when this eventually becomes an act of parliament, if assented to by Mr. President, it will add value to the upliftment of the youth of this nation. That's my prayer. So thank you and congratulations. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished senators,
I did as advised. As advised.
So, distinguished Senator Idiot, you can see we are discussing your proposed motion. I believe strongly that tomorrow we are going to have also live broadcast for the whole Nigeria to see, and the plight of the out-of-school children is of concern to all Nigerians. First, I want to commend you in advance for bringing it forward, and secondly, you've also taken note of the mood of the Senate, and you have agreed that this can come up tomorrow. So we look forward to hearing you tomorrow, and also getting our colleagues to contribute. Thank you for bringing this to the fore. Yes, Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, I rise to move that we step down other items on the other paper to enable us close and allow distinguished senators to engage in other legislative activities slated at their committee level. I so move.
Yes, distinguished Senator Abamoro.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion that we step down other items on the other paper to enable senators carry out other legislative functions. I so second.
Yes, distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we do step down all other items on the other paper to enable them be taken on another legislative date. Those in support of the motion have moved and seconded, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Accordingly, this August Assembly, the Senate is hereby adjourned to Wednesday, the 20th, right? Wednesday, the 20th day of March at 10 a.m. prompt. Senate Leader, the Senate is adjourned to 10 a.m. prompt.